Alright everybody, RMJ Movie Reviews back again, and I'm coming with the movie review of, well, not really new now, maybe a week into its release. The movie called Sicario, I think is how you pronounce it, starring Emily Blunt, who I'm not very familiar with, the great Benico Del Toro, and Josh Brolin from Goonies fame and Gangster Squad. Everybody loves that movie. And American Gangster and The Mod Squad, another one people love, and a bunch of other stuff. Actually directed by, I can't really pronounce this guy's name, but he directed Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman. Benico something. I can't pronounce it. Wow, what did I think of Sicario? Well, I guess if nobody's familiar with the movie, I'll just give you a quick gist. Emily Blunt is like part of like a SWAT type of task force that basically rescues people in kidnappings. Okay, they're like a heavy-duty SWAT team that focuses on retrieving victims of kidnappings. And they basically, the film opens, they come across, they're trying to rescue some people who've been kidnapped. I believe, I'm sorry guys, you know, sometimes when you see movies you miss details. I'm not sure, I don't think they were in Mexico, but I think it was close somewhere to Mexico, somewhere by the border area. But either way, they're looking for these people who have been supposedly kidnapped, and lo and behold, they come across a house, no kidnapping victims. But what they do discover is that they rip open a wall and there's two bodies up, and they keep opening walls and there's more bodies and more bodies and more bodies. And basically what they come upon is a house of the dead, where it's a stash house, but not with drugs, just with dead bodies all encaved in the wall, in a really nauseating, just horrific scene that is very well done, because it makes you feel the horror of probably, I'm not even gonna say probably, of what law enforcement, the horrors that they feel when they come upon these things. I mean, it's really a nauseating scene. It's very well done. And basically, Emily Blunt and her partner want to discover who's responsible for, I think they said there's 25 victims in the house. There's almost 30 people lying, it literally lying along these walls, dead with plastic bags on their head. So Emily Blunt is pissed because I don't think the movie really emphasizes, but I think the people they were trying to rescue were in those walls somewhere. So either way, she wants to figure out who's responsible. It's some big time drug dealer. Josh Brolin works for some governmental other agency, and he basically says, look, I want you in on it because, you know, you got balls, you're a tough chick, I know you got a personal grudge, we want the guy too, so come along with us so we can take him down. That's the story of Sicario. And the great Benico Del Toro is kind of a shadowy figure. We're not really sure. He's very ambiguous. We don't know who he works for. And they go on their journey to find the drug dealer guy who's responsible for beheadings, decapitations, drug dealings, basically just all sorts of just horrific human depravity. You know, is what you expect from a Mexican cartel. And I liked it. It was good. I definitely had some issues with it. Overall, I like the film. Definitely the highlights to me is just the suspense. The suspense in this thing is, and very much the director showed a lot of what he did in Prisoners, which Prisoners was very suspenseful, very engaging thriller. And Sicario is too, but basically on the scenes, like where they're like doing these, there's a scene that I love in this movie, aside from the one I just described to you with the bodies. But the scene that I really love is like they basically find somebody who works for the drug dealer. They've gone over into Mexico and they're trying to get him over back to the States, and they're they get in a jam on this freeway, and there's cars everywhere, and they come across some guys in one car who got firearms, and then there's just two cars with firearms, and like everybody's loading up, got their guns cocked inside the car. It's a very suspenseful, it's a cool scene. I just wish the movie would have had more scenes like that. There's about maybe, I think if I can count them on my hand, I think there was maybe about 2 more scenes like that in the film. There's another scene where Emily Blunt, and I'm not gonna give away spoilers, guys. Really, honestly, there's not that much to spoil, but there's like a scene where like she's making out with this guy, and she discovers that he works for the Mexican cartel, and it's a really well done scene, and they kind of get into a little short fist fight, but it's really well done. I wish they kind of just would have went typical action route and kind of followed it up a little bit better than the way that scene ends. And then there's another scene where there's this big thing through the whole movie where they're trying to find this tunnel that can connect them to the big top Mexican cartel guy who runs the whole show. And when they actually get to the tunnel and they're going through it, that's pretty suspenseful. You know, again, my issue is that, you know, you've got these really fantastic suspense scenes, and it's just like the movie doesn't have enough of them, or, you know, they're not paid off very well. They kind of, I mean, they wrap, the scenes end, but I mean, as much suspense as you're putting the director is putting the audience through, the payoff just isn't that good. And overall, that's kind of what I felt about Sicario. You know what I mean? I really liked it. You know, I like Josh Brolin, you know, even though he looks more like his dad in Pee-wee's Big Adventure every day, just without the beard. But great actor. You know, Emily Blunt, I'm not very familiar with her, but you know, she's pretty, and you know, I think she's capable, and she did a good job in the movie. Benico Del Toro, he's magnetic. He just has that presence when he comes on film, and he's got those sleepy looking eyes that he has. That man can just draw you in. He's an excellent. I love Benico Del Toro. Excellent actor. He just draws you in. And even though his character is kind of ambiguous, anytime he comes on film when the bad guys are around, you feel safe. Like, you feel like he's gonna take care of whatever bad shit is gonna go down. But overall, that's kind of how I felt about the movie. It just kind of felt like it was one good build-up, but ultimately when it ended, I just kind of felt like, damn, that's it? Like, you know, because the story is pretty typical cops and robbers stuff, and I felt like they were handling a pretty typical story, and it was handled in a very suspenseful way. But I just wish the payoff would have been better. And then when you ultimately figure out what's going on, I was just kind of like, really? I mean, what you ultimately find out is going on, you've seen hundreds of times before, so that's where I kind of felt the payoff wasn't exactly good enough. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, you find out what the payoff is. I mean, it just, I don't know. It's, in terms of the story, it just wasn't enough. You know, I think there should have been more of the suspenseful stuff. You know, but apparently that's not the way that director makes his movies. But overall, I liked it. It was good. Is it topping Prisoners? Hell no. Prisoners was just great. I love Prisoners, and even though Prisoners ended ambiguously, as does Sicario, Sicario just felt less satisfying to me the way it ended. You know, Prisoners, like 95% of that movie is just great, and then there's like 5% that's just kind of like, and that's like Hugh Jackman in The Hole. That was kind of just like, oh, come on, you know. But the other 95% of Prisoners is great. Sicario is kind of more like maybe 75% of the movie is good, but kind of that other percent is kind of just blah. You know, so, you know, some good shocking moments, some good suspense, Of course, all the actors are capable. One thing I really do is I like the music. I'm not really sure if it's the same guy who did the music for Prisoners. I'd have to look it up on IMDb. But like like I was telling you about that freeway scene, the music kind of does this. And it's real like unnerving. It like really messes with you because you're like, what the hell is about to go down? Like, and you're in Emily Blunt's shoes. You're like riding in the car and you're seeing like all the cops riding, and then next thing you know, they go to another block and then you don't see no more cars and the music is going and you're like, oh shit, what's about to go down, you know? So that stuff is cool. It's just overall the movie just, I don't know, it just I don't know. I'd give it honestly a 7 out of 10. You know, I liked it, but I just felt that it could have been so much more better. And again, the director uses the same technique he used in Prisoners. A lot of really slow camera angles that just really draws you in, and it's not cutty, you know, it's just the music goes do 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 and the camera slowly moves in. Kind of some of it they do a little bit too much, and I think the movie could have been a little bit shorter because there's some characters. There's one character in the movie who's a mule. You know, he moves drugs for drug dealers. You know, he's a mule. He's a policiera, a police officer in Mexico. His character gets a lot of setup, and ultimately I could not figure out why, because aside from I guess they just want you to just have a face for a mule in Mexico and just let you know that, hey, they're just regular everyday people just doing, this is just a job for them. They may not like doing it, but they're regular ordinary people who end up like working for drug cartels. I guess that's the point they were trying to make. I don't know, but I thought his character was pointless, you know, because spoiler, he died anyway. So I don't know, it was okay. I'd more recommend it for like DVD and Redbox. I don't know if I could venture out and watch it in the theater. General audiences will probably take off because I already been reading on the IMDb message boards that people were walking out the theater. So me, the suspense was good enough, and I like Benico Del Toro that I hung in there, but definitely could have been a lot better. So it was good, but definitely, in my opinion, a step down from Prisoners. So that's my movie review of Sicario. I'm gonna come with my month of October Halloween horror movie review, and I'm just gonna surprise you all and just put up a review. I don't even know what it's gonna be yet. I haven't even thought about it, but I'm just gonna put one up and bam, we'll go from there. So like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and please guys, leave some comments below about Sicario, my opinions, anything I left out. Maybe you can kind of explain a little bit of the story to me, because there's some things I missed because I think I dozed off like once or twice, you know. So either way, RMJ Movie Reviews, I'll see you guys soon with my Halloween horror movie review for the month of October.